Alexander Arrington here discussing with you the 7 irrational beliefs. Number 1, you must be perfect, competent, and excellent in everything you do. And this is one of those things where it keeps us from doing a lot of things, because in our mind we're thinking, well, you know, this has to be perfect. It has to be grandiose. You know, it's got to be great. It's got to impress everyone. And so, you know, it may keep us from starting a business or doing something important, because we want to try and be perfect in that. And the fact of the matter is, whenever you're trying something new or you're doing something new, you can never be perfect. You can never really be good at it. It takes time. It takes failures to get better at something. So this belief that, you know, we must be perfect, competent, and excellent in everything we do is completely ludicrous, because it's really just something that's not possible. It's just something that keeps us procrastinating and not being successful in life. Number 2, you need something bigger than yourself to begin. A lot of times people look to astrology, people look for a sign from heaven or something. In order to do something, they think, well, you know, I need something to force me or something to tell me to do it. And people don't rely on like their gut feelings, their intuition, you know, what they're really feeling, and really rely on themselves. They're looking for something else, some kind of sign from heaven, some kind of bolt of lightning to make them do what they need to do, instead of just doing what they want to do. Number 3, the past determines the future. And this is something where people have felt like, well, you know, hey, I've been a failure, you know, I'm 50 years old or I'm 60 years old, which is completely ludicrous, because, you know, nobody's a failure until they die. You know, the game's not over until you die. And so there's a lot of people who, you know, were 50, 60, 70, 80 years old whenever they became successful. And that's just, you know, so your life's not over. Your past does not in any way determine the future. Another one, number 4, irrational belief, is that we must avoid anger and confrontations. You know, if we get our feelings hurt, or if something bothers us, or our rights are being trampled on, a lot of times we think, well, you know, I'm just going to go along and get along, or I'm just going to ignore this. I'm going to ignore the beliefs that I have, because that might make someone angry. Or, you know, if someone's telling you, you know, their religious beliefs, you know, and you say, well, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and go along with that, because, you know, I don't want to upset them, you know. So, you know, I don't believe in tithing, you know, and that, you know, there's a fear that might upset someone. You know, well, you don't believe in tithing. Well, that's in the Bible, you know. And it's like, well, you know, it's just something I don't believe in, you know. And so there's other things that I don't believe in, but a lot of times we just say, yeah, I believe in that, you know. And a lot of people who are you know, don't believe in God will say, well, yeah, I believe in God, even if they don't believe in God, just because they want to avoid that confrontation or that anger. But, you know, by festering that anger and by not expressing, you know, your emotions, you know, you're really hurting yourself. Number 5, you're not smart enough to be a doctor or a lawyer or a judge or something like this. This is something that's keeping you from doing what you need to do. You just assume everyone else is smart and you're just the dumb person. But you know, everybody that ended up on the top 10% started at the bottom 10%. So in order to become better, in order to become greater, you know, you have all the same tools that they do. You just have to push it and really, you know, pursue what you want to do in life. Number 6, I'm not attractive enough. And this is something where, you know, we look at television, we look at, you know, you look at Cosmo, you look at all these, you know, glamour magazines. I mean, the reason that so many people hate their body and hate the way they look is because we have this idiotic, you know, view of women where, you know, you look at somebody and they have to be basically a twig in order to be attractive. A woman has a little bit of weight on her, it's like, oh my God, you know, she's a fat, you know, she's nasty. You know, if somebody gains weight, you know, and they're pregnant, you know, and then they don't lose it, you know, and in 2 weeks, it's all of a sudden it's a catastrophe. And you look at these celebrities and they have to have this ideal perfect body, but it's really not a perfect body. It's just, you know, what we've been brainwashed to believe as to what is perfect. And it looks pretty sad you see on YouTube where people have shown they're exercising and they weren't even overweight. You know, they had an extra 10, 15, 20 pounds on them, whatever. And then they show themselves before and after, and they've lost that 20 pounds, and you can see their bones, and they just don't look good at all. It's pretty sad. So, you know, the idea that you're not attractive enough, well, you are attractive enough to someone, and there's a lot of people out there that would love to be with you. Number 7, this is one of the most important ones, I think, is that this idea of having love, recognition, and approval from your friends, your family, your co-workers is all important. And that if you don't please people, they might choose to reject you or criticize you or even abandon you. So a lot of people feel like that. They feel like, you know, they have to have the approval of people, and a lot of times even people that they don't really spend time with. You know, your coworkers don't pay your bills, you know, so who cares if they don't like you? Your friends in your life. I mean, if you have an idea and you say, well, you know, hey, this is what I'm going to start and this is what I'm going to be, you know, if they don't like that, well, so what? You know, it doesn't really matter. And we say that a lot, but it's really important to believe that and really do that, you know, and not let other people to control you. And it's a really big problem where people aren't doing what they want to do in life because they're afraid of what other people are going to think. You know, what are people going to say? You know, if you don't believe that, you know, your family, my family's all Jehovah's Witnesses, and you know they don't, you know, I don't believe in their religion, and they all just are shocked, and you know, and in order, you know, to push your own beliefs though on someone is just the wrong thing to do. And so what people are doing to you today and everyone else is they want you to believe what they believe, and if you don't, they're going to criticize you or make fun of you or say you're stupid or you're just uneducated and stuff. And we have to be stronger than that. And so we don't have to depend on you know, their love or feel like, you know, if we have an opinion or we have our own viewpoint that, you know, they're going to hate us and they're going to abandon us. So what? If they do, they never were our friends anyway. So these are some of the lies or the misconceptions that we have as individuals. If you want, you can comment in the section below, you know, what are some lies you were told growing up? What are some lies that you see that people still believe? And just leave that in the comments below. Thanks for watching.